Okay, here we are, 3, 2, 1. And we're in a 2-minute warm-up, but there's only 1 minute left.
In the 2-minute warm-up, it's only 1 minute.
In the 2-minute warm-up, there's only 1 minute left. That must mean I was behind my time. So,
I need my phone.
when you have to run and get something, you can never say I'll be right back in this place. It's always a couple minutes to 5 minutes. So so I hope everybody's doing well today, and we'll get Marilyn logged on and make sure that your comments are coming up, and hopefully that will be okay. And hi Krista, how are you? And thanks for sprinkling us. And let's see, and now it's 2 o'clock. So hey everybody, let's see, Marilyn, are you all set? Yeah, I know, I get a pink slip. Hi Jeannie's palette. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
I got her on, and welcome to the Stand Tall crafting event. It's an honor and privilege to be here all the time.
Hi, Judy.
And we thank you, Krista, for inviting us, and we do appreciate it. And hey, this is a first. We're kicking it off. How about that? So because
It's time to shake it up.
it's time to shake it up, and Marilyn had an awesome idea amongst all her amazing ideas, of which I come up with none. So it's going to be some forest fun. I don't know, Marilyn can elaborate. Marilyn will elaborate a little bit more about the forest fun. But before we get started, hi Wayne, good to see you. Thanks for sprinkling. And I don't know if we get a lot of poison ivy around here. If you can catch it early, it's a beautiful thing. If you can't, then it's not a beautiful thing. And Marilyn's highly allergic to it. And I've already not paid attention and caught it, and it's not fun, but I don't get it like Marilyn does, but I don't want it. So Marilyn taught me this neat trick to pick poison ivy out of the ground before it gets crazy, and I'll show you.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to be in the woods here. When we purchased this house, we had over an acre of bamboo, and it was encroaching upon the house, which you don't want that in your foundation. Hi, Donna.
So grab a plastic bag, and I don't know how well you'll see me, but what you do is
you can use a bread bag, any kind of plastic bag.
Any kind of plastic bag, and you go to where the poison ivy is, and with your hand inside the bag, you grab it, and then you can pull it out. And if you're lucky, if you want to get more than one, you can, but that's up to you. I've done it both ways. And hold it on, and then you turn the bag inside out, and then let go. And now your poison ivy is in the bag, and you haven't touched it. So I have some poison ivy around here I'm going to grab, and
before he starts his project.
That's the technique.
So when we bought the house, there was over an acre of bamboo, and it was very aggressive. The first summer, I thought I would attempt to remove it myself. After a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, hi Carol, we decided that we needed professional help. And because we're near the river, and plus we're living here, we were environmentally concerned. Hi Claudia, how are you? And
so I grabbed a couple, turn the bag inside out.
It took us a while and a lot of investigating to get somebody here that was environmentally correct.
Put it in another bag.
So first, you don't want to throw it places because.
And I have a couple more.
Oh, we need you here, Donna. She says she's not allergic to it.
Oh boy, that's nice.
But the first they had men come in, a crew of men, and it was just a couple men, and they started working on it themselves. And they gave us an estimate, which was more than we anticipated, but once they got started, it took them like 10 times longer than they thought, and they did not readjust their initial investment, so we were very fortunate.
Okay.
Okay.
So there we go. I got them.
So we were really lucky. They cut it all back, and then we had some final crafts come in, and again, environmentally concerned.
Tie it up and you're good.
I pull it. No, Jeannie, it's not nice to me either. I end up going on antibiotics. So we had to ask our neighbors if they trimmed the poison ivy. It puts that spray in the air, and I can get a really bad case of it. And I almost was hospitalized the one year. It was so bad. So they're kind enough to let us know when somebody's coming in and working with that. And Judy said the goats come and eat it.
Oh, well, isn't that fun? Maybe we should get a goat.
Yeah, remember at that one park?
Oh, yes.
Near where we used to live.
That's right.
They brought in goats for the summer to eat all the underbrush.
Yeah.
And you can go, it's all fenced in, and you can go and see them.
Yeah, that was fun.
Similar to going to a zoo.
That was fun. So, part of the project today is our forest fun, which I think Marilyn, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, Marilyn.
A few years ago.
Marilyn made a.
Oh, some just came out.
I don't know. Marilyn made a cool. Well, it was an ongoing project. Thanks for the hearts. An ongoing project of forest fun with a fairy house, and it went on for a while. And she did an amazing job. And I guess an old video to check out, and I don't think it's on YouTube. We'll have to see about that. But anyway, in the continuation of that theme, thank you for the hearts, we will continue with that, but
yeah,
the fairies are being replaced with gnomes.
So we have fairies and gnomes and all the forest friends.
I had to think for a minute.
You have to, create your own happiness. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is think about how blessed you are and all your fortunes. And some days are a little bit more of a struggle than others. But since I was a little girl, I've always liked to create fairy tales in my mind and living a fairy tale. And so this is just a continuous part of my fairy tale life. And when I did the after-school program with the kids, I really enjoyed telling them about fairy tales and the Black Forest and making all kinds of, what's the matter?
Can you hold your thought?
Yeah.
I said, welcome to Stand Tall, and I forgot to say, hey, it's Marilyn and John, done by me, coming to you live from Magnolia Hall. So
From the forest.
From the forest of Magnolia Hall. So please continue. My bad.
So anyway, this is just a continuation of the fairy tale. John, if he steps to one side,
thank you for the hearts.
you can see, you want to go back to where you planted the pussy willow, John? One of the things that he started,
That's back there.
Captain Obvious, right? John's showing you it's really hard to see unless he's standing there, but there is a tomato thing around it and to protect it, and there is a pussy willow that we rooted, and he showed how to plant them, and so that's going to be another little tree in our forest. So John, do you want to rotate a little bit?
So before I rotate, Marilyn's always wanted one of these, and we've been looking around, I guess a year easily, but might have been longer. But anyway, we were like a half hour away from home, and we're driving through a town, and lo and behold, is what. Sorry about that, guys. What appeared on the curb was. Claudia wants to know, how long does it take for pussy willow to mature?
A few years. It's one of the faster growing trees. Hopefully
Hopefully it'll take.
It'll take, yeah.
It says it wants it in a moist environment that doesn't drain well. Well, I have one of those down by the garden, and that's perfect. But up here, it's a little shaky. So we'll see how they do. I have to keep over watering them all the time. So we'll see what happens. Keep your fingers crossed for us. But anyway, lo and behold, we came upon what Marilyn was looking for, and I'll slide the camera over, and you can see what she's been looking for.
In the marketplace and yard sales, because we only have a small car now.
And there it is.
Car problems and got rid of our larger car. But this was on the curb. We all know. Hi, Janice. We all know from curbside pickup that if it's something good, it won't last long. So I convinced John that we could figure it out and get it in the car.
So it was funny because it was meant to be. Hi Beth, good to see you. Craft Room Confessions, hard to read. Thanks for joining us. And there's Studio J. That's Jennifer. Hi Jennifer.
Hi Merrill.
And then there's Marilyn. That's Marilyn. She said she just gave one away. So it must have been meant to be, because it is a little Tykes playhouse, Claudia. It must have been meant to be, because at that moment the car was empty, and we're driving around in our only car that I have, which is a small SUV.
And normally we
call it our mobile storage, and it's usually filled with stuff. Hi Carrie, good to see you. And there's Carol. Hi Carol, good to see you. And so anyway, I had no tools. I don't carry tools around in my car. I guess maybe I should start. But anyway, that's the way it was. On the curb, a big mess. It was all dirty, and it was also like getting dark.
Yeah.
But
I'm really worried.
But I do carry around rope and bungee cords and stuff in the car, because I've learned that. So anyway, Marilyn said, I don't have anything to take it apart. Marilyn says, I think it's going to fit. So okay, give it a try. So get out, open up the back, and
they say that's where you go when you misbehave.
Yeah, that's where I go. That's right. That's when I'm in the little Tykes house. And I'm in there most of the time anyway. But anyway, it got in about halfway. I put it in from the ground. It went in the first, so the roof was pointing out the back. And I tied it in, and then I pulled the hatch down and tied it all up. And we slowly drove home. Instead of taking like a half hour, it probably took us 45, 50 minutes to get home. Use back roads, stay off the highway. And anyway, we got home. It was already pitch dark, but we made it. And so I washed it, cleaned it up, and we was sitting for a while, and then Marilyn's light bulb went off.
We investigated the price of spray paint.
Oh, yes.
And it was
expensive to spray paint.
More than we would, frugal people that we are, more than we would spend.
So you guys know me. In Maryland, we have oops paint and curbside paint and all that. So go down and look around, and I found some paint. So that's what we're going to get started today, and then we'll have a really fun way to end the. We
have a really cute thing to show
that
you
Marilyn
at the end that
set
you
up,
don't
which
wanna miss.
Yeah, you're going to love it. It's so cute. It's so amazing. Per Marilyn. But anyway, I'm going to start painting the roof brown, but in the meantime, we also had thoughts about once that gets brown, because
the whole thing
some of it would show through.
Brown.
But yeah, everything will be brown. But anyway, we have a lot of this old bark hanging around, and just like Marilyn did with the other fairy house, it's kind of the same concept, but on a grander scale. And this is probably too big, but anyway, we'll figure it out, and then we could get a bunch of pieces and glue them on the roof to make it look cool, and then Marilyn will do her thing with the rest, and it'll just be amazing.
Yeah, so we just thought this would be fun. just a little hidden gem when you come into the yard and walk around. You
So
won't
I'm gonna
notice
get the
it
paint.
right away because of the brown mulch and all. You won't notice it from afar. But I like to have all these little vignettes hidden in here. We have a couple big projects that I'm hoping we're going to try. But we thought this would make an adorable little gnome house. And when we pivot some more, we have a couple things. And I told you we have a really fun finale for here, so you don't want to miss that. But we have some gnomes and we have some things. And once this gets underway, we will stage it. And we just thought it would be a fun addition, and we didn't want to spend a lot of money, and so we were able to accomplish that by using paint that we had that was left
So
over.
I stirred the paint back there, so here we go.
But it'll be like the fairy house, except the fairy house we painted green underneath. Well, this we're painting brown. We want this to just blend in with the wood chips. And oh, thanks, Marilyn. She said she likes my brainstorming. So it's always figuring things out, and oh man,
What?
Oh, John, I just let me see if I can go back.
Get lost?
Okay, yeah, it got lost for a minute.
Are you okay?
Yep, I'm good. So John tested it out. He washed the roof and he tested the paint out, and it seems to work. We'll need another trip to the hardware store where the people are so accommodating. And hi, Giselle. And we'll ask them what do they recommend for gluing the bark. We're going to cut it like shingles and put it on the roof so it looks more foresty. And we have all kinds of ideas for it. But it has to be weatherproof, and it has to be able to withstand the heat and the cold. So we don't want to use the hot glue, because with heat it comes apart and with cold it comes apart. And so we want to go, we think maybe liquid nail will work, but we want to check at the hardware store and see what they think. And hopefully John this time will take the money from the person that thought he was homeless. But if you can see now how the
So
brown
there, can you see the brown?
just really covers nicely.
It looks cool. It's a nice look. It's a nice color brown too. I
This was
really
brown
like
paint
it.
that the contractors used in the, we call it the boys' bedroom upstairs. There was no flooring in that bedroom, and they used plywood, cut plywood, and put it down. Now the room doesn't have heat, or air conditioning, but it has, hi Randy, how are you? But it now has a floor, and we were able to set it up, put our things up there for a cute little room. But you can't go in on the heat of the day. Thanks, Claudia. She said nice brown. You can't.
Yeah, I like this brown.
But this is, they were concerned about the floor, what they would do, and should I put hardwood floors? I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just supposed to look like a little hidden attic full of toys. Again, a little fantasy dream that I had. I used to have the same dreams every night, and the one repetitive dream was that I found a secret room in the attic that had toys and things in it. And so all these little projects are things that I've thought about for a long time, and like I said, you have to make your own joy, you have to make your own happiness. But this was the paint that they used to paint the plywood on the floor, and they couldn't believe that I was happy with it. And remember, they wanted to repair like the broken cement or whatever it is on the chimney. Plaster, and I'm like, no, I like it like that. And when they're all finished, the one fellow said, this looks like what you would see at Anthropology, you know, Urban Outfitters kind of thing. But it's all just creating a life that you want. So if we had a more formal house, you know, where I lived before, I wouldn't have done this. Oh, thanks, Carrie. I wouldn't have done it. This wouldn't have been, we lived we owned a townhouse in a really nice community, upscale community, and and the people wouldn't have been, what do they say, they drive you out on a rail. Can't think
Maybe.
of what that expression is.
Maybe.
But
We ruffled feathers anyway.
yeah, we ruffled feathers anyway because the one little fountain we put in and all, and it wasn't in violation, but there's always people that question your thoughts. But here we thought this was fun, and you wouldn't really notice it and take away from the formality of the house. It would just be hidden in the woods there. And you can see there's some green on the right side of your screen, and that's a wisteria, and it came along with a beautiful, I think it's a lily. We bought those along the side of the road where the guy said, why do you need to know the name of what it is? And John's trying to use his Google Lens, and this guy's trying to distract John. It gets a flower, it gets a purple flower, it gets a red flower. The leaves turn to red. He'll tell us that sort of thing, but he won't tell you the name or too much about it. But anyway, we got that wisteria, I think it was like $10 or something. And we're trying to plant, when we rotate more and show you the little surprise at the end, you'll see that we had a landscaper plant some evergreens, which I call, oh, thank you, Giselle. I call scrub pines, and I forget what they call them, but we just wanted to look very foresty in here and no bamboo. Oh, thanks, Merlin. Yeah, John wasn't like this when I first met him. I think I told you guys. I had gone to the flea market and bought a bunch of stuff. This was, 17 years ago? Yeah, 17 years ago. I went to the flea market and bought a bunch of junk, and so much stuff that the dealer delivered the stuff to the house. And it was in the driveway when John came for dinner, and he's like horrified. Do you want me to put that trash at the curb? I'm like, trash? That's just what I bought today. And he's like, where are you going to put it? And I'm like, in the backyard. And you were horrified, weren't you, John? And
yeah, it was a lot of stuff.
When it filled the whole back of a pickup truck. When John came like a couple days later, he said, what did you do with all this stuff? I'm like, it's all in the backyard. And he wandered around, and he's like, where in the backyard? Thinking it was around the side of the house. He's looking. I'm like, no. And I started pointing out where things were tucked in to little spaces, and I had gone and gotten flowers and planted flowers in some things, and I was really excited and happy with it.
And of course, it was amazing.
And John, it took him a while to adjust. The look of horror on his face, but he didn't want to burst my bubble, so.
No, it did. It looked amazing. It was all integrated. I wouldn't have. I mean, I couldn't even find everything right away.
And then afterwards, he started getting it, but it took him many years. We had a shed full of stuff at our little cottage at the shore, and I posted pictures of the cottage and the yard. But we had a shed there full of junk, and John said, oh, I'm going to pay the scrapper guy to clean out the shed and take it away. And again, I was horrified. I'm like, why would you pay him to take it away? So I had John throw everything in we had a minivan then, and run it up to our store, which was 2 doors down. We put it out front, and we sold everything that day. John couldn't believe that people would buy that stuff that he was going to pay to get rid of. So slowly he's learning, and when we're at the flea market and I want something, you don't usually question it, do you, John?
Never.
And a lot of times when I'm buying things, I don't know what I'm doing with them. And I remember, I told you, I think I've become my dad in my older age, and I remember my dad always had these creative projects, and I've had them since I was young, but you know, it's fun because John will go along with it. But my dad would do something and we would never know, and I'd ask him, like, what are you doing with that, Dad? He says, I don't know. Well, you knew in the back of his mind, maybe he knew, or maybe he just figured something would, a brainstorm would come. And that's how it's been with me. And so, thanks, Judy. This was, like I said, the leftover from the floor up in that room. And we try not to buy anything, just spray paint it. To get the cans of spray paint that we thought we would need, it was well over $100. And I didn't want to put money into this project.
Can they see the brown?
Yeah, you can see it really looks good. So do you want to paint the front of the house here where they can see, John?
I will. Can I finish this side? Or no? Don't.
No, go ahead then if you want. See, he does rebel, you know, if you caught that. He has rebellious nature sometimes. Well, you have plenty of time like that. But, you know, we don't want to have you watch us paint the whole thing, but we thought it's interesting to see. He did test it out ahead of time to make sure that the paint would stick. We didn't know whether we would have to use a primer or whether we would have to figure something else out. We did buy some spray paint at the flea market. Somebody had all kinds of spray paint and we bought, I think, 4 cans of it. And so, I think it was $15 for the cans. We thought if we needed to, we can go back and smooth things out with spray paint, or when it gets inside, because I want the whole thing brown. And we have all kinds of ideas besides making bark shingles and put on it. But you know, the bark won't hold up as well, you know, so we're going to use smaller pieces because that will help. But, and hopefully some moss will grow on it. But we have to figure out the glue situation, and that will go to the hardware store. And they don't usually bat an eye, do they, when you ask them?
No.
They're
no,
very
they want to
nice
help.
and helpful, and
Yeah,
they'll
they
look
wanna
things up. And you know, it's nicer than going to a big chain. I mean, it's a hit or miss for finding help, but if you utilize the little local hardware stores and shops, the people are very, very kind and very helpful. And when we wanted stuff, we could have gone online and ordered it, but they figured out what they thought we would need, and they order it and they say, if it's not right, just bring it back in a day and we'll return your money. And so we don't have the challenge of buying things and returning it. They just take care of all that for us. So it's really nice. And I don't really think we pay much more for anything, do we, John?
Not really.
And they're very informative, and John brings all his stuff. And the one time, didn't the guy do something for you, the lamp guy? He took the lamp apart or something. You were having problems, and
I don't remember.
there just happened to be the guy that they have
Yeah, maybe.
that rewires
Yeah.
lamps, and they took it back and helped John out by taking a part off that he couldn't get off. And so that's been really good. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to pitch in, guys. But again, this is like a little fairy tale of mine, creating this. In South Jersey, there's a really cute place, and I think they built it like in the 40s or 50s, and it's called Storybook Land. And I never had the privilege of going as a child, but I took my kids and my grandkids later, and when they were young, and it has all these little cottages that look like they're in the forest, and aren't they really cute, John?
Oh, it's amazing.
And they have goats there in a cage where you can pay to get food, a little old-fashioned machine that drops the food out in your hand, and you can feed the goats. They'll come down a ramp and do all this stuff to get to where you are with their food. And Santa comes at Christmas time, and they have it all lighted up. And it's modestly priced, but it looks like you're going back in time. And that's all the things that I love so much. Is there any place around you guys that have things like that? I forget how much it was to go in, but it wasn't extravagant. But you have a little, I think it's called, what's it called, Storybook Land.
Yeah.
And so if you're on vacation, it's not all that far from the shore resorts. And many people will take a day from being in the baking sun on the beach and go there and see it. And it's definitely, oh, Donna said Storybook Land is her favorite as a child, now as an adult. Yeah, I would still go there myself. And I guess that's part of my little fairy tale things is doing this. Boy, that brown looks nice, John.
Yeah, it's a nice
So it
color
looks
brown,
streaky,
isn't it?
so you can either decide to put a second coat or go over that with the spray when you get a coat on the whole thing. It's a bit streaky.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
So he'll have to.
That's the plastic. It doesn't absorb it.
Yeah. But we'll be attaching a lot of things on it also, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In my little storybook land, things aren't going to be perfect. Right, John?
Yeah, that's the fun of it.
And I was thinking the other day, I was talking to somebody, and I said, boy, this property, how wonderful it would be to raise kids here, and camping out, and them playing in the woods here, and all the Tonka trucks, and the nature crafts, and all the things that you could enjoy. When my granddaughter was young, we made little places for the leprechauns around St. Patrick's Day. We made little leprechaun traps, and hi Susan, yep, a new project, and this is going to be the ongoing thing, but we wanted you to see the start of it. And did we take a picture of the house not painted, John? I guess you should take it from the back.
Yeah, from the back.
Yeah, we always forget to take before pictures. Just like John and I forget to send out the notice until all of a sudden we've gone live and said, oh geez, we never sent out the notice. That's the thing of when you're old and you're not working and you're not having a lot on your mind. Yeah, we want it to look like a little woodland cottage. And you'll see some of the things we have, and it's fun because we have so much stuff in our possession, so we'll really have fun staging this and bringing out a lot of fun things in this area. And we'll show you, we had a tree taken down, or a couple trees had to come down here, and we saved the wood, and you can hear the birds. Look now, that.
What's that, Mary?
You can hear the birds, I
Yeah.
said. And,
Yep.
But can you picture when you were a child if you had this to play with? My daughter had this little house when she was young, and she had a lot of fun with it, and she had the little kitchen, little tight kitchen. But unfortunately, I was the mother that, not the house, but the little tight kitchen and all this stuff, I washed it up and brought it in every night to keep everything in good condition. And same with the, what were the Tonka trucks? I scrubbed them up, hosed them all off, put them out in the sun to dry before I put them away. At this point in life, my values have changed, and if I have a couple Tonka trucks, and I think I'll just put them out here in the garden just for fun. And I have some old shovels, and you'll see some of the things here, but when we get ready to stage it, we'll bring you along to see the staging. And would you guys like to see when John shingles the roof, or would you rather we did it on our own? You know, but some of the things we thought you might have fun. John's now painting a little flag holder that we'll have to make a cute little flag to hang here. But, you know, Lorraine,
Get out of the way so you can so you can see. Can you tell?
Yeah, it's a minute delay, John. It's a longer delay than usual, John. It still doesn't show you stepping up and out of the way.
Because
Now it
probably
is.
no Wi-Fi.
The delay is really long here, sorry guys. But there you can see him stepping out, and you can see how it's really transitioned really quickly. The door, everything is going to be painted brown. And like I said, it'll blend right into the wood chips here. The wood chips came from where
So
the
can you
township
tell that it,
and
can you
yeah,
see how it looks?
yeah, it looks good, honey. Look,
Oh yeah, cool.
the wood chips came from the township, and they also came from the arborists and the tree guys when they do any work. We ask for all our wood chips to just be thrown back. But that might be how we got poison ivy too, because that grows on trees, and if they're chipping up a tree that has it on it, it'll have the roots in the chips. So John has to keep at it and clean it all out. And this year with this house, we want to make sure we keep the area clean. So if you know any local little kids that want to come play, we've got the place. Right, John?
Yeah.
But I can't wait till I get to stage it. What would you guys put around it if this was your house? Or would you even want it at your property? But I just thought it looks really cute. How would you decorate it? And John will fix it so that the door swings easily. And hi, Lori. How are you? But we just thought this was fun, and I was going to show you the junk journal that I'd worked on before and I finished, and I pulled it out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot how cool it was. And I was going to work on that today, but when we switched our times to earlier today, to shake things up, we thought, oh, it would be fun. It's a beautiful day. Hi, Arlene. Yeah, they, Maureen said she'd like it birds and all. Yeah, that when you get birds, you get all that, and hopefully with the bark, it'll hide some of it, and just take a bucket of water and splash it on there. Hi, Candy, how are you? Candy, you need to make this for your yard. Too bad everybody's grandchildren are too big for this.
Tell her it's brown, not green.
Yeah, it's brown, Candy, not green like the fairy house. I don't know how that happened. Do you, John?
No.
But we thought brown would be good because
Yeah, it'll be concealed.
yeah, conceal with the wood chips. If you see all the ground's wood chips, and we're going to have to freshen all that up. But it'll be disguised, just blend right into and you won't notice it. You know, for kids, it's great to have blue, and if you have more contemporary house and all, and it's more appealing. But for old people that want it to look like a little fairy story, the brown seems to work. Yeah, it would make a great gingerbread house. That was one of the things too. Lori said her granddaughter got one like that for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
Candy said it would look perfect in her yard. Oh, stepping stones. What a good idea. We have, we could even make some stepping stones, John. Yeah, I have a couple big projects that I hope they work. It's something I did years ago, and I hope that I can remember how I did it. Yeah, it would make a great gingerbread house. Maybe at Christmas we would put lights on it and make a couple of gingerbread men. You could cut them out, or I guess you could buy those plastic ones places, you know, and change them up some. But it's really looking good, and you just picture when it's all brown, you won't even notice it. And, you know, it's far enough away from the house that you would be looking at it from a distance.
I don't think you would even notice right away.
Yeah, I don't think you would notice. Lori said, what kind of paint are you using? We used the kind of
It's,
paint that we had.
It's actually porch and patio floor paint
Porch and patio floor paint
from Bear.
from Bear, B-E-H-R.
Home Depot.
Home Depot. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Oh, Allegra said, look cute with the brown roof and paint it like bricks. And she would put some wood on it to make it look Tudor style. That's a really good idea. Hi, Krista. So yeah, it looks like now that John painted over it, it looks like you can see on here, there is a brick pattern, and maybe we can go back and even sponge that a little bit with a dark rust if we wanted to. Oh wait, somebody said, oh geez, Candy, her 92-year-old friend fell and broke her ankle. She's in the hospital.
She's been in our prayers anyway.
Yeah, she's in our prayers already, Candy. Oh, the bricks maybe you can't see, but you can see them on there. But maybe I would sponge them with a little bit of orange. See the bricks on the front there, John?
Yeah, they're at the bottom.
Yeah, maybe I would take a little bit of rust and we'll have to look and see. Oh, Arlene says they all have good ideas for you to do.
Well, that's what we asked for, ideas.
Yeah, Lori
Sometimes
said
people
still,
think of things you don't.
Lori said she still has the house and she can repaint it for her garden. Yeah, it just looks really cute. You could take the door off. You could do whatever you want. And yeah, Candy, we pray for her every day. That's
Rita.
Rita, yeah. John remembers her every day. And Debbie is in the hospital. We haven't seen her on today. She had
She had
Baxter
surgery, yeah.
yesterday. Yeah, as you get older, you know, everybody seems to have some health issues. Michelle said she sees bricks. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is get some rust paint and sponge on the bricks, just a dark rust, not that far from the brown. John can take his clothes to the hardware store, and when the guy comes out, say, see this brown, I want a rust comparable. Because it ends up all over everything. But it's really fun. So John, we're 2:42.
Yeah, I don't know. So when you say when you want to go to the surprise.
What do you think would be appropriate time to share? You can move over and show what's right here in front of the house.
Yeah, I'll finish this one row and that's it.
Okay. Hi Debbie, I just mentioned you. I'm glad that you're home. That is amazing that they can do that surgery and you could be home so quickly. But please just take it easy, because I think the recovery is actually more important than the surgery sometimes. Don't you, John?
I would think so, because you have to try to pay attention and you always want to get going sooner than you're supposed to.
Yeah, and particularly since you've been laid up. But everybody send Debbie some prayers. Yeah, Lorraine said you need to make a small brick walkway. We have some old bricks too.
Yeah, we do.
People are always putting stuff out there for free on the Buy Nothing site, and I just can't help but send John for all the things, right, John?
Yeah, it's okay.
I ask him, rather than just telling him anymore, I ask him if he feels that we need it. And sometimes he passes things up, but most of the time I'm very surprised that he chooses to want them.
Okay, so there you see some of the,
So send us hearts if you like how it looks so far,
you
guys.
see the part of the brown that I have painted already.
And thanks for your ideas for the path and doing the bricks and possibly making it a gingerbread house at Christmas. You really inspire us. Sometimes we would let things go, just we're not motivated, but sharing them with you guys, you're the wind beneath our wings, and for getting them accomplished and sharing them, and everybody's so kind always with their words, and we appreciate your friendship and support. So now, John,
So it looks cool.
rotate a little bit, but you see
Hi,
some
Susan.
of it will take
All right, so we're going to
a
go,
second coat.
I don't know which way we're going from you guys, but
We're in reverse, so
now you see the little gnome that Marilyn found.
Claudia said she's administrator, and she said an admin for a local Buy Nothing group and has received awesome things. Okay, so now that cement guy, if you remember, we got him a while ago, and he was up in the garden, and he was the first when we got the house and put it out here. He was the
And you see the wheelbarrow too?
yeah, he was the first thing that came out by the house, and I'm like, he is perfect. He's just really cute, and Lori said, so cute. Thank you, Lori. Of course, typical style, he was modestly priced. He looks really old. He's missing his hand, but I'm perfectly okay with it, and we won't attempt to repaint him or repair him. I like him the way he is. He just looks like he's been here forever, and that's how we want the house to look. And Marcella says she loves the little wheelbarrow. Thanks. I bought some things from a lady a couple towns over, and then when I was telling her the things we were doing, this was like 2 years ago, she came out to visit, and she brought some awesome things, and she just gave us that little wheelbarrow. So I think maybe we'll put, it would be hard to maintain flowers, and I don't want to put drainage in it. So I think we'll probably put logs or maybe artificial. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not an artificial flower fan, but maybe in a fairy tale that would be okay. Or the river birch don't look like they're birch trees, but the main part of the branches. Hi Linda, how are you? The main part of the branches are look like birch, and so we could put some of that. We have all kinds of ideas, but we really need your ideas too. Candy said she dug her son's
Hi, Linda G.
out of the barn and it's half rusted, so she has it lying on its side. Yeah, we had this just propped against the house, but we brought it out today. And so, yeah, ivy would look cute on it too. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, we really,
And that here.
we're a fan of brainstorming, and brainstorming is where everybody throws out their ideas, and no judgment. It's just, if you think of something, throw it out, and sometimes they're taken as great ideas and sometimes less great, but no, in brainstorming, no idea is wrong. And I appreciate you all giving us ideas, and you can see now that wisteria growing there, and there's some type of a lily or something, but we forgot to Google lens that. Thanks, Carol. And he is, somebody was here and they said, oh, that's like a sad little soul. But to me, he's a very happy little guy that's led a very good life, and happy that he's got his little gnome.
Because you can't see, there must be a little mouse down there.
Yeah, there's a little mouse on the book under his arm. It's just really adorable, but I don't want to repaint him. Maybe I would rub a little something in to show the mouse a little more, but
So it's 11 minutes or less.
yeah. So we're down to the last minute, 11 minutes, and yeah, Candy says she has river birch. So John's going to take the phone and we're going to swing over and we'll show you the...
Are you going to do an unveiling?
Yeah, should I?
Yeah. All right, hold on. We're going to swing on over. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's see.
And here I am.
Here's the big surprise. We're going to get there. And I have to wait for the delay. Carol says the wheelbarrow is really cute. So let's see if I have it lined up. I have to wait for the delay and we'll check it out, guys. Oh, there's Marilyn.
Hi, everybody.
Candy,
and yes, I did cut
Candy's
my hair
getting
and put
excited.
on makeup today.
Allegra says maybe a potted geranium in the saucer.
Yeah, that would look cute. I figured those big ferns, if we can spare some from someplace, those big ferns would look cool. Ready for the unveiling, John?
Wait, I'm just still lining up. I have to wait for the delay. I think I was trying to get the other chair and the gnome in. And
You get both chairs in?
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Susan loves your dress.
Oh, thanks. We got this the other night. We went out. It was bought it on the marketplace for $10. You have to decide if it doesn't fit. You're either going to wear it in a misfit, or you're not going to wear it and you donate it or pass it on or whatever. But I was very happy with it.
Thanks for the hearts.
Thanks for the hearts.
Okay, here we go. Get ready.
So when they took the trees down,
How exciting.
we had them put all the logs in three little groupings all around in here. And that was long before we were going to do this, but I thought, oh, it just looked so fairy or gnome-like. And so we'll take close-up pictures.
Thanks
so
for the hearts.
See. Here's that, what was that, Jim Holtz?
Allegra says she wished she was closer. She's overrun with ferns and she'd be happy to give us as many as we wanted. Now, that would have been cool.
Water them good
We
and
love
hop in the car and try for you.
Yeah, that would have been great, Allegra. Thanks.
Here's the
Susan says perfect. Claudia
gnome.
says bam, have fun.
The little gnome that I got at
Krista
the yard
loves
sale.
it.
One of my handmade mushrooms, hydrangeas from a couple years ago in a jar. Here's this cottage teapot. Somebody had a yard sale and at the end everything was free. And I saw it on Facebook and we went over and I got a cream and sugar and teapot. Those are our coffee mugs that actually are for Bailey's, but they're the good color. Cookies and some treats, and it's on a dish that
Yes, it is, Judy.
John and I took a pottery class.
Carol loves it.
Pottery class. I gave it to John for a Christmas
Allegra
gift.
says teddy bear's picnic. Arlene says it's so charming. It is, isn't it? It's so cool.
I have nasturtiums.
Candy says what a wonderful setting of it all. It's very charming.
Nasturtiums on the egg salad, tomatoes with marigolds. I have calendula and a little tiny, I call them Mexican marigolds. I'm not sure of their name. This is egg salad that I made. This is chicken salad that we bought.
Thanks for the hearts.
We have that cute
That is
toast
fun,
holder
Judy.
that I put the bread on. This is the sugar bowl from the set. And I started to say, so I grew up that you gave unusual gifts. And do you want to hold this closer? We took this pottery class. I gave that to John for a Christmas gift. And we had intentions we were going to make all our dishes. And this is when we had the cottage at the shore. And it's a lot harder than we anticipated. I did it years ago and did okay. Didn't do okay this time. So you can pass it back now. These were...
Yes, Carol, definitely.
There was a gadget that you could roll the clay out. So it was similar to making pasta.
Thanks, Wayne.
So everybody was throwing pottery and you had to buy this big block of clay, and I didn't want to waste mine. So I went over
Thanks,
and
Carol.
I cranked out all this flat stuff. I cut it. I brought some stamps, which I'll show you when we're up in my sewing room. They're big blocks from India that I used for printing on fabric. I used that and I printed the fern on the dishes, and then we glazed them. Well, the person that baked threw a lot of my stuff away. I think she was annoyed. But anyway, the dish that the cookies and the berries are in, I made that, and I made a bunch of other flat ones. And it has my initials on it, me, in the back. But I thought they looked perfect for here today. And then, of course, I have napkins. And I brought out some peaches and all. And I actually brought 3 plates, so it's an extra plate if you would like to join us. And
Candy says, egg salad sounds yummy. They were just gifted 1.5 dozen, and I had just bought 1 dozen, so I was going to do a quiche, but she thinks she's doing egg salad first.
My daughter growing up accused me of running into the forest to gather. I'm going to sit down. You want to come join me, John?
I'll stand here and read.
Oh, okay. My daughter always accused me of
Carol's coming over soon.
am I okay, or I should?
Yeah, that's good.
My daughter always accused me of running into the forest.
Candy says that everything's cool. The dishes, the food, the settings. Isn't it amazing? That's Maryland.
Yeah, the nasturtiums are edible. They taste peppery. And
Arlene says she'll be right there.
this is watercress, some crackers. And I had this toast thing that I pulled out because we were going to do a breakfast the other day, and it didn't happen. But I thought, oh, I'll put it here with our bread. I cut in half and put in there. And then the gnomes that I showed you before, he's here. But I have a lot of foresty kind of things, so we'll really have fun setting this up and gathering from our own possessions. And if we go to the flea market, I'm sure we'll find things that we like. These are the little small tomatoes that came from the Italian market. Now we went once and John had never been. Now he's like, he wants to go all the time. I'm like, John, we don't need that much food. But all the vendors are outside on the street, if you saw that video.
Hi, Lorraine. She likes the logs.
Yeah, isn't that fun? But we'll have fun pulling things out and setting it up. And
Yeah, you know that you're catching the beginning of the transformation that will occur.
yeah, so we haven't had it staged, but I thought, oh, let me stage just a little area with the logs and the chair. We carry things out in a picnic basket, and it's all things that I had, and that's the fun. Just scurry through your house and take a basket with you and gather things. I put iced coffee in the teapot, and then there's ice in the cup, so we can enjoy that. And it's nice and shady in here, and so even on a hot day, it would be fine. And we're in the path of the breeze that comes off the river here, which is nice. And you can't go wrong with shade. And I put some leaves down on there as just some color, and these are just dish towels I had. But when I was gathering dishes, I'm like, oh.
Candy says you do know how to set a scene and create a feeling. She loves it.
Oh, thanks.
That's the truth, Candy. She is amazing.
My whole life has been creating a fairy tale for myself. As a child, I pretended I was going to babysit at somebody's house. I had over a mile to walk home from school by myself, so I would create a fairy tale in my mind as I was going home. And if somebody asked me my strongest asset, I guess it would be creativity. I don't really use AI because I like to use my brain, and I get a lot of satisfaction from creating.
So hey everybody, you're in the Stand Tall crafting group, and Krista, thanks for hosting. Thanks for inviting us to be here. It's always an honor and privilege. And don't go away, because up next is the Crafty Farmers, and that's with Misty. So you just refresh your page and you'll catch her next, and stay tuned for the rest of the crafters today, since we're the kickoff in the unusual spot. So that was fun. And hey, it's Marilyn and John, done by me. And if you're not following us, please do check out our page, and you can link with the Telegram and our YouTube. So have fun today watching, everybody. And again, thanks Krista and Mare.
And thanks, Krista, for allowing us to be creative and do some little things that are a little bit offbeat than the typical crafting. We really appreciate being part of the community, and please send prayers to Bernice and her husband for the tragic fire they had and the loss of their house. And please make sure I'll be posting the information for supporting the 3-day event this weekend. So bye guys, thanks so much.
Okay, stay tuned for Misty, guys. Thank you, have a great day.